Hello, good morning, Living Word Saints. Pastor Chris here with your morning defos. It's Easter Monday. Hope you guys had an amazing Easter yesterday, Resurrection Sunday, as we celebrated the resurrection of our Lord, his victory over death, and allowing the spirit of adoption to come forth so that we can be his sons and daughters. What an amazing, amazing day. Today I wanted to kind of just talk to you a little bit and encourage your hearts just a little bit out of Psalms 23:4. And I remember growing up when I used to go to all-night prayer, and I used to sit there during worship. We used to sing a song, if you want to feel the Spirit of God, invite the trials and tribulations again and start worshiping God. and I just really love that song because it really made trials and tribulation seem so small compared to what God is going to do when you encounter his presence. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about Psalms 23:4, using that as an illustration. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I want to let you know that one of the things that when I've done our revival camps with young people, the last day, usually I tell them, hey, listen, you guys just had this mountaintop experience with God. God has moved. Some of you guys got delivered from depression, suicide, drug addiction. Some of you guys got your bodies physically healed. Some of you guys got healed from traumas of molestations and and rejection from parents, and all that kind of stuff. The Lord has done this thing in this camp, and it's kind of, you look at it as a mountaintop experience. But what I've always told them is you got to come down the mountain and do life in the valley. And when you do life in the valley, this is where you actually have to implement the things that you experience God in the mountain. It's very easy for us to love God at church, but what you do Monday through Saturday counts as well, and I think it would be easy to be a Christian if you could have 24/7 access to a thriving, prophetic, anointed community all the time. But sometimes you got to come and do real life. You got to meet real people. You got to meet the outcast or the worst of the worst. Yeah, that's always just going to happen, and because you're called to be a light and the salt, right? And so what I tell them is, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that's actually where you do life. Right there where death can become life. If you remember, and in the shadow of the valley of death, you go and you release your testimony that you were lost but now are found. You were dead in iniquity but now you're alive in him. And in that place of death, where there's supposed to be fear of natural fears of man or whatever, in Psalms 23, it says, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. That's interesting. For you are with me. That God not only is the God of the mountaintop experience, but he's also the God of the valley. And he's with you through that. He doesn't leave. He doesn't check out. It's not too intense for him. He doesn't get scared of whatever hordes of demons are coming out, or principalities are coming against you. He's right there with you. And it says this, when you're walking in the valley of the shadow of death, he goes, your rod, which is meant for correction, and your staff, they comfort me. Very interesting. He says your rod, in that place that you will receive discipline. Part of discipleship is to see discipline, and your staff, they comfort me. And that's just really, really important that in that time when you're experiencing God and you're bringing it down to the valley, that God's going to be there, right there with you, and he's going to